Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of the Final Fantasy Adventure for the Nintendo Game Boy. Last episode, Draven used the teardrops of Medusa to uncurse Lester, the bard who's traveling with him. Lester is the younger brother of Draven's gladiator friend Amanda. Unfortunately, Amanda passed away in the last episode. She and Draven went to the cave of Medusa to acquire her tears, because the teardrops were the only thing that could uncurse the spell, could undo the spell that was put on Lester, turning him into a parrot. During the battle with Medusa, unfortunately, Amanda was bitten by Medusa, which caused her to turn into a new Medusa. So, but before she passed away, before she made a Draven kill her so that she wouldn't hurt anybody else as Medusa, she shed the tears that Draven needed to restore her younger brother, Lester here. So now Lester is accompanying us here down in Davias' manor to put an end to Davias' evil rule. Davias is a tyrant. He cursed a lot of people, turned them into animals, and he also basically rules the Jad with like an iron fist, and he won't let people escape. He stopped music from playing, and that caused the poison gas in the valley to the east to appear. And that way no one can leave Jad, so they're stuck there. So we're going to restore freedom here and take out this evil dictator, but it's going to take a little bit. Just kind of a tough dungeon. We've got some pretty tough monsters in here. If we had an extra mattock, we could have went north 2 rooms ago, could have broken the wall, but there's no enemies in here that drop mattocks, so I only have 1 mattock, so I'm going to need that to open up the passageway to the boss, Davias, later on. So I just went to the south. There's the same amount of rooms, it's just that these rooms seem to be a little bit harder, because some of the enemies we're going to run into more of these Wizrobe enemies that, well, they look like the black mages from Final Fantasy 1, with the straw hats. But they kind of act like Wizrobes from The Legend of Zelda, where they teleport around the room shooting spells at you. Those spells actually take quite a bit of damage to you, so you'll notice I'm using quite a lot of cure magic here. But anyway, yeah, there's also some other tough enemies here. These guys, they don't hit hard, the flames and the bats, but they have a lot of hit points. It takes a lot to defeat them. So they're just, they're kind of like tanks in a sense that, like I said, they're not too much of a problem, but because you have to hit them so often, and you have to get so close to hit them, because the only thing that's going to hurt them is the silver sword, there's a chance that they, may move and, bump into you while you're trying to defeat them, so. More wizards here. Like I said, just have your cure on standby. Yeah, finish them off with the silver sword. I think they deal about like 26 damage with their spells, so you're getting around like the 30 mark when you heal yourself up, when you use up some of those cure potions that I have here. Blizzard, or that basically functions like the ice spell that we got. So this, if you would have went the northern way, we would have ended up in this room eventually. I'm going to show you the room that we would end up on. It looks a little different though when you come down here, because there's a lot of rooms in this area where they're like one-way doors. So like to the south there, that's a one-way door. When I come back to this room, you'll notice that that door is not there. So, but if we would have went to the north passage, used the mattock, we would have ended up in this room up here that I'm going to show off real quick. And you would have just had to step on those tiles and walk around those tiles, and that would have put you in the staircase. But so yeah, we head back to this room and see that door down there is disappeared. So, but now we're just gonna make our way. Luckily, Davias' manor ain't too big. There's a few out of the way rooms that we're gonna go to just to get a new weapon. The Were Axe. It's an upgraded to the battle axe, but it functions just like the axe. When your willpower is full, you throw it across the screen. That could be pretty useful against Davias, because Davias is really hard. He's probably one of the tougher bosses in the game. The way to cheese him is to wait at the bottom of the screen and throw like the axe, the long-range weapon, at him. Luckily, there's some enemies in here that drop crystals. Crystals, when you use them, fill your world gauge up entirely, and that lets you, throw the axe right away. But we're not really going to use that strategy. We're going to just use a more crazy, all-out approach. See, there's the crystal item. This one you have to, you start in the lower right corner there, and you make your way around, and make your way around counterclockwise, and that opens up the staircase. The bad enemies there, they're the ones that drop the crystal, so if you want to farm crystals, you could. Like I said, that's probably the safest way to take on Davias, but we have pretty good magic, because we've been, focusing on building magic as well as our power. So our cure spells actually do a fairly good amount of healing. And so I'm able to use the strategy that I'm going to use, where I'm just going for like tank damage from Davias. But here we got some more werewolves. That were-axe we're going to have is going to be really effective against these werewolves. Pretty much defeats them in one hit. And there's a grinding spot right after this dungeon where we can grind werewolves, but I'm not going to be grinding the werewolves. My levels are doing pretty good, so you don't really need to grind if you're like just defeating everything that you come across. Of course, sometimes it's annoying to defeat everything that you come across, because you come across enemies like this that have a ton of hit points, but in the end, it's going to save you trouble, just defeating enemies as you go along. So to the right is the wall we want to break with the mattock, but we're going to take a little offshoot here down to the south to grab that were-axe. It's an upgraded battle axe. Like I said, it's a pretty powerful weapon too, so we won't be able to get rid of the battle axe though. They'll never let you sell. We'll get an upgraded battle axe. There was actually 2 more axes, but they never let you sell the battle axe, because another one you can't sell is the chain. Even though we're going to get another chain later on, because they are used to solve puzzles. So you got to have at least the basic axe. So you see, we turned that one guy into a snowman, but Lester hit it with the arrows and defeated it. So we had to hit someone else with this ice spell. One of those block puzzles. So now we got the were-axe. That's going to be our weapon against Davias. Another weapon you might want to use against Davias is the chain. It's a little safer than the were-axe, but it's weaker, so it's going to take longer to hit. But like I said, because of my build with pretty decent wisdom and the good healing that I have, I'm going to employ just another strategy. Finish off these guys. Hopefully get some more crystals. Nope. And we're almost at the end here, so luckily after we defeat this dungeon, it's kind of like the Medusa dungeon, where we teleported to the end, so we don't have to backtrack through here, so actually most dungeons have been like that. Guess that's another thing with Final Fantasy. Throwback to the first Final Fantasy. After you defeated the elemental dungeons, you defeat the fiends, you just step on the altar, clear the orb, and there was always a teleporter to take you out of the dungeon. So this one we just alrighty. Finish that flame off and head on up these stairs. We've got some weak enemies here, but like I said, we still want to defeat them all for experience. Although probably would be better, just like I said, quicker to grind on those werewolves, especially now that we got the were-axe. There's going to be a screen full of werewolves past the Poison Valley. So let's equip our were-axe because we're almost at the end. To the right is a dead end. We're just going to head up to the north here. Lock, gotta get a key. I always keep forgetting I'm gonna equip keys. You have to use your keys through the items, so it's a good thing that whatchamacallit, there's no enemies here, so we're gonna enter Davias' fight with a full willpower. So heal up right here if you need to, because Davias is right over here. he's gonna turn into like a mind flayer. It looks like a squid enemies. Now he has those 4 fireballs that circle around him, and then he shoots another fireball that goes down towards you. Those 4 that are around him will never leave him. They'll stick around him like a shield, like kind of the wood shield from Mega Man 2. So you never have to worry about them hitting you from the bottom. That's where you can fill up your will gauge, throw the wear axe at him, but that's going to take a long time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my heal magic on, and I'm going to stand up here in him, because the fireballs take off more hit points than he does hitting your body, so you basically want to stand inside him to avoid getting hit by the fireballs and just swing away. And as you're swinging away, he goes into an invulnerable phase, and while he's invulnerable, he flashes there, he can't hurt you. So just keep swinging really, really fast, and you should be able to avoid being hit by him. And you'll eventually take him down. If you do take a hit, well, just use your cure magic right there. So unfortunately, the pendant that Amanda gave Davias, the pendant that Badger gave Draven, he doesn't have it anymore. He gave it to Garuda, bird, and the Garuda is flying it to Glaive Castle. So luckily, the mountain rocks to the east of Jad can take us near Glaive Castle. It's a back way to Glaive Castle, and Lester's harp is he's going to play his harp, and that's going to clear up the poison gas, and that'll allow us to enter into the Mount Rocks area to chase after the Garuda. We gotta get that pendant back. We also gotta find Badger. She's probably at the castle too. Because remember, Julius kidnapped her, or rat-napped her, and probably went back to Glaive Castle. So, and most people don't say the same thing. That one guy did change his dialogue, basically say, like, hey, look, the poison gas is moving away. And now that Lester can play his harp again, the gas recedes. And I guess these people, if they want to leave now, they can leave Jad. Although there's no reason to leave Jad anymore because Davias has been overthrown. You don't have to worry about being abducted and turned into animals. So peace has been brought back to this little community, this desert community. We can't, unfortunately, Draven can't sit around and enjoy that peace because, like I said, he has a mission to do. He has to save the world, but first he has to save Badger because the two of them are needed. They're like the dual protagonists. The remake of this game, Sword of Mana for the Game Boy Advance, it actually has 2 campaigns. When you start the game, you can choose to play either the boy, like Draven, or you can choose to play as Badger. A lot of things are similar, but there's little things differ. Like the boys' campaign is pretty much the same as this one here, from what I've read. But the goal, like, some different things happen. But like I said, I haven't played that game. I don't have that game. But from what I heard, it focuses it adapts more like what the sequel to this game, the Secret of Mana, uses. I didn't really like that game. I didn't like the menu system seemed really clunky with that game. So, but here's the poison gas area. It is now empty, so we can go on through. I'm gonna head up to Mountain Rocks. Got some new enemies there. The monkey there is over on the left. We saw those badgers earlier, but we didn't defeat them because they were pretty tough. But now we gained a few levels. We were able to defeat them. So yeah, here we have those werewolves. You can see basically like 1 or 2 hits with the were axe finishes them off, so it's a good place to grind. I'm not going to grind though. I'm just going to head back, just do it one more time here, just to show you the power of the were axe. Dunk, take them out real quick. Chop down these trees. And there's that fish that we saw earlier when we were going to the chocobo to find the chocobo. Chocobo's over to the right. That fish was really powerful and couldn't beat it. But now with the were axe and a few levels, you can finish it off pretty easily. So we're gonna head up to Mountain Rocks. Mountain Rocks is it's like a series of small little dungeons. Several bosses. There's actually 3 bosses in there. and they're interspersed between, like, you'll go through a little bit of the dungeon, and then we'll step outside back on the overworld, then go through another little part of the dungeon, so forth and so on. So it's kind of like a bunch of mini dungeons. So we're going to go through the first one, because like I said, there are mini dungeons, so it's not going to take, you know, a full episode to go through. So down this way is another one of those magic shops. We can buy a bunch of magics and magic restoring items like X Ethers, but don't need any. We got all that we need. So in one of those mini dungeons that we're going to on Mount Rocks, we will be getting the Morning Star. Once we get the Morning Star, we'll never have to worry about Maddox ever again, because the Morning Star functions as a Maddox. One of the best weapons in the game. It does a circle like the sickle, so it surrounds you entirely, and it pretty much like, it's like the silver sword in that most enemies, it damages pretty much every enemy. There's very few enemies that are immune to the Morning Star. So even when you get some stronger weapons, you'll still be using the Morning Star, not only just to break down walls, but also to defeat some tough enemies. So we're gonna have to equip our silver sword here because the were-axe is strong, but still can't, you know, defeat these mummies. I guess we could put our fire magic on and use that instead, but the mummies are weak to the fire magic. But we'll just equip the sword because there's a lot of enemies in here that are only weak to the silver sword, which can be annoying because we're gonna have to switch weapons sometimes to cut down things like these I guess sticks here, thorn bushes, but unfortunately the face enemy here is strong against axes, so we're gonna equip the axe, cut down those thorns, and then if we want to defeat this face, switch back to our silver sword, finish him off. More of these things. This is where the mute magic can kind of come in handy. You can use the mute magic. It temporarily stops the wizards from casting their spells, but it's very short-lived. And these wizards are lucky they have the advantage of cover, so they've been kind of hiding behind those rocks. So I couldn't just run up and, you know, smack away at them while they were muted. So by the time I reached them, they teleported around and or moved behind the rocks so I couldn't hit them. So yeah, kind of a useless spell to mute. We just put back our cure spell. We're gonna have to switch back to the axe again to chop down these thorns. But at least we're able to use the axe against the boss, the upcoming boss, because it is our strongest weapon. We're going to fight the metal crab. We're going to apply a similar strategy to the one we had with Davias. We're just going to kind of get up in his face and swing that axe. But he's not too bad of a boss. Like Davias, if you just wait for your willpower to fill up, you can throw the axe at him, and that's kind of a safe method to do it. But that will take a long time to do. He kind of has a safe zone like that Megapede. The Megapede we were safe in the upper right corner. Basically in the lower left corner with the crab, there's a safe spot there. You just sit there, fill up your will bar, then throw it. But, like I said, we're gonna just go the fast way here. Just gonna get our were-axe. And the crab, he walks across the up and the top, and then he comes down like at an angle. And then he'll walk across the bottom, and then he'll come back up. He'll either go up to the right or to the left, and then he'll just repeat that pattern. So it kind of makes like a figure 8 type pattern. We can just stand here in the middle of the bridge and swing. The lower left there, that's the safe spot. He's never gonna reach there, so you can just hang out there, fill your willpower up, and then throw the axe at him when he's down at the bottom, hits his face. That's his weak point. But like I said, I'm just going to stand up here. I can get a bunch of shots in on him when he's crossing the top here. And if I face downward when he's walking up, I can get him when he's on his diagonal. So, get him a few times there. Like I said, if we do the same thing with Davias, where we're swinging away at him and have our cure magics to be safe when he does hit us, we should be able to take him down. So, first of 3 bosses in this area. He's almost done. And there he is. We take him out, and then we just have a few more rooms to go through, so We defeat him, we get the staircase to enter, and then we just have a few more rooms on this floor to go through before we end up back on the overworld, and that's where we'll end this episode. So like I said, we have more little bit of a dungeon to go through, but it's going to be another short little dungeon. But it's going to be a fun one because we got 2 bosses in them, and the first boss is immune to everything but the Morning Star, so we have to kind of go deeper into the dungeon to find, because the boss, the main boss, is like right at the beginning. But if you go to fight him right away, you won't be able to hurt him because he's only weak to the Morning Star. You have to go into the dungeon, find a different boss, defeat it, get the Morning Star, then head back to the beginning of the dungeon to take out the boss. But we'll see all that in the next episode here. So we're going to head out here. This is what we'll pick up on the next episode. Outside here, we'll explore the outer world and get to the next cave. Take care, have a good one, see you then. Bye!